Jinx. I'm here to give Gemini a read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And we're looking at what's coming in for you with the Venus Jupiter conjunction that we have going down this month of March. We already had one meetup between Venus, the planet of love and beauty, and Jupiter, the sugar daddy of the galaxy, on the second. We have two more coming up. One that comes in right after the spring equinox on the 20th, and the uh, Aries new moon on the 21st. On the 22nd, we have that Venus Jupiter conjunction coming in again, and then once more on the 28th. So the tail end of this month is full of all kinds of grab bag surprises, a lot of new beginnings coming in, a lot of directional reroutes, and in some cases, some goodies, but it's all about how you move through this cycle. This read is going to be for any significant placement for Gemini. Okay, so Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, or loaded third house. And that looks like a stellium, three or more planets in that third house, or one of those significant placements like what I just mentioned. And with Saturn having just gone into Pisces, let's also throw Saturn placements in there too, okay? This is going to apply for all the signs that I'm going to be reading for this month. Sometimes it slips my mind. So if I be forgetting, remind me in the live chat, okay? We're throwing Saturn in for this month of March. It's just such a forward influence, okay? I did get an initial download for you, Gemini, and that's that you are coming to the end of a really rough cycle. I just feel like you are closing up a time that really wrung it all out of you. And, the thing about coming to the end of a cycle like that is that, once you hit bottom, there's only one way you can go, and that's up. So I feel like you're going to start to really notice that things are turning around now. Things are getting better. I feel like you have some kind of new beginning coming your way. You have somebody approaching you. It feels like it's an approach that comes from the heart. Could be a water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I think it's like an invitation to open up what may be a very emotional discussion. And there's some kind of offer involved in this. I believe the offer is to create more stability in a situation where maybe things have felt a little uncertain. Could also involve an earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or somebody who has both water and earth strongly aspected in their chart. There's something here that needs to be balanced out. I feel like the approach could come from either way, okay? It could be that you're finally in a space of emotional readiness where you want to open up a certain discussion, maybe a discussion that is a little sensitive for you. Maybe you've held off for a while because you've been trying to think of the right words to articulate what you want to say. And you finally feel like, this is as good as it's going to get, right? This is good as it's going to get. I need to get this off my chest now. Or there is somebody approaching you that is moving out of this kind of heart space and this desire to kind of, I really just get like ground out a situation, stabilize it. And I believe it might have something to do with this wrapping up of an old cycle. I also feel like there's something that you're going to be starting that is like a foundational building block for your future. And this aspect has to do with your finances, your business, what you're looking to grow at this time. I think you're very clear about your vision for moving forward and what you're wanting to create. There's some important step that you take this March that really starts to get things moving. And I think you're going to see a lot of growth and expansion in this, but you're going to need some patience. I got this feel that it's going to be kind of a slow burner. It takes time to get all the pieces sort of lined up for this thing to really get some traction, get some momentum to get going. But I think if you are really dedicated and committed to this and willing to get very organized, really root what you're trying to build, what you're trying to bring in financially and in terms of the growth of your business, you're going to have tremendous success, right? So It's all about how you start it right now that really matters, though. And there's some piece about getting some kind of news in relation to this that gives you the go ahead, okay? And it gets you happy, it makes you feeling like it makes you feel like, yeah, I think that things are going to get better. I think that I really can get this thing to take flight, get it to go somewhere, right? So it gives you a little bit of inspiration. Oh, what do we got here? That was interesting because I first picked this up and we had the star in reverse here. All right, that lets me know this whole deck is upside down though. So maybe you've been waiting a while to get the go ahead on this. Maybe it's felt like, you were never going to get to the light at the end of that tunnel. We saw that you went through a really rough period and you kind of like reached the end of an old cycle. So now you're wondering, okay, I got through that long dark hallway. Are we going to turn the lights on in the room? And I can't make it up. Oh yeah, the lights are coming on. All right, okay. We got the sun card. This is the happiest card in the deck, all right? So it's also success, like I was saying. So what you're creating now, it's really wild. A while ago, we did an On the Hedge, and Anthony came on to help do some reads with us and contribute to the conversation. He always has such wonderful things to contribute to the conversation. I got to see about bringing him on again. Um, but he brought in this wonderful analogy about the sunflowers and how in those sunflower heads, there's so many seeds. There's just like fields of sunflowers in every sunflower you see. And I thought it was just like such a beautiful vision. And I feel like that's what you got right now. The seed that you're planting right now in March, it's got that potential to grow and really flourish like that, where you'll look back upon it and go, wow, I can't believe that one idea, that one vision, this one step I took, that it would grow into all of this. But it leads to a lot of success. It also leads to public recognition. I feel like you're really going to be kind of in the spotlight. Like there's some opportunity for you really to be showcased. That's what I'm getting. You might even have some kind of event that comes out of this. If you're in any kind of creative field, I feel this especially. If you do some kind of showing, art showing, some kind of art installation, some kind of album release party, something along these lines, I think you're going to really get some rave reviews about that. I think you're going to get a lot of support. I got a lot of community support. I think it really earns you recognition within a particular community. And I think for whoever's message that is, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This is also you really taking charge of your health. I feel like mind, body, spirit, your vitality is going to be increasing. I think some of you might have went through a period of kind of like heaviness. You might have even been depressed. You might struggle a bit with a seasonal affective disorder. Maybe wintertime is really hard for you. Wintertime might be hard for you because of the loss of a loved one, and it makes you mindful of this around that time of year. This could be, and I'm very sorry, I know it's very sensitive, but sometimes these messages really want to come in and it can give somebody a lot of peace, but this may be in relation to a child that was lost. And it's sort of like that soul reaching out to you and making contact with you and sending this message that love is eternal. Love is eternal. It changes form, but love is eternal. And so that, it's sort of like you still have that spirit of your child with you always, and always you're connected in your hearts. It doesn't make the grief go away, and there is no greater loss than that of losing a child. And so for those of you that have experienced that, I just extend so much comfort, and I wish you strength and grace as you move through that. It is a deep, deep, deep initiation. But I feel like there's something, maybe there's even something for those of you who had a loss like there's something that you're bringing forward out of this. And it's like this beautiful offering. I feel like an offering from your soul, and it's something that shares your experience, and in some way your child's life continues on through this. Um, and it's some way that you can extend some kind of healing or some kind of hope to others who have maybe experienced a loss like this. For others of you, it really reminds you of your childhood because you lost a parent. Um, and again, that's also a very, very deep doorway to pass through. It's an initiation, really. These kind of losses that are so foundational, that are connected to our roots, our sense of belonging, our family ties. They run deep when it's time for the ones we love to to die, to die. I think it's important too that we don't try to sugarcoat the experience to make other people comfortable. People have a hard time talking about death. They do. It's almost a taboo subject in our society, and yet at the same time, I'm looking at this sun card, and I can't help but think about how the sun is a perfect analogy for it, right? Like the sun rises every morning, and every evening it sets, and that sun, that light, it disappears from our vision. But did it go anywhere? No, it hasn't. It's just it's just doing its thing. It's in another orbit. It's in a position where we're not able to see it, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that it's no longer there. And we are revealed that truth every morning when the sun rises once again. So it's sort of like an acknowledgement of your loss, an acknowledgement of the pain that you've had to endure, and your time of darkness. And there may have been times when it got really heavy, and there may have been times when you were struggling with some kind of loss. And this can be a loss of a relationship as well. There's many different experiences in our lives that invite us to walk through grief's doorway, and it's for an initiation. And we don't ask for this initiation, but some of these things are unavoidable in life. At some point, we will all have initiations like this. It's part of our experience: life, death, you know, rebirth. It's a continual experience over and over and over again. And there's a piece about you recognizing the light that's found even in this deep of a passage, even in this depth of emotional loss, the grief, the pain, that there's some light that you pull out of it, and it passes this light on to others. There's something about this that will be very healing for you. Okay. But I do feel this has a lot to do with like casting off some kind of emotional heaviness, this mental heaviness. It feels like deep grief. It feels like depression to me. It feels like overwhelmed. And at some points, overwhelmed to the extent that it was hard to even just do basic things. Um, and I feel you. I've had times in my life when I've gone through passages like that. It's deep. It leaves its mark on you. And there's a part of you that will always have that imprint upon you, but there's something really potent and powerful that you can draw out of that experience. And I believe it has something to do with the seed that you're going to plant. There's some kind of vision you're bringing forward from this, and it's going to grow. It's just going to grow and spread. And I think what you're going to find is, in some way, it also helps build community. It helps others who have also been through similar doorways. And there's such power in that, to be seen, to be recognized in um, someone who walked that way, who had to go alone. Because when you're going through a deep transformational process like that, even if you have loved ones around you, even if you have people who support you, who care for you, it's still a road. You walk alone. That's true. For some of you, this is recovery. For some of you, this has been a journey of recovery, and it caused you to reflect a lot on your past, on your childhood, your upbringing, kind of the roots of the issue. It's been a very deep process for you, but I see health, I see vitality, I see discovering joy again, and really just having summer in particular. I feel like right around that time, right in July, when we have the changing of the nodes of destiny, and the North Node moves out of Taurus and into Aries, and the South Node moves out of Scorpio into Libra. I think you're going to really see a different kind of balance in your life, that maybe you struggled to find before. Maybe things were always shifting, changing. Maybe it was hard to plant anything. It was hard to nurture anything to grow because, you never knew what was going to come at you, from one moment to the next. But I feel like you're entering a different kind of flow, and it's about the light really growing in your life. It's about the things that you plant now and that you nourish and you nurture and you water and you give it your care and your time and your attention, and you also pour all that experience into it. It's also going to provide tangible growth, in terms of your own financial stability, and really creating a place for yourself to um, feel the warmth of the sun upon you in your life, coming out of the cold. I really feel that. I think in some ways, maybe you felt cut off. I think in some ways, maybe you've gone through the motions socially. Maybe you've gone through the emotions in your friendships. Maybe in some ways you've been longing for a different kind of community, a community that can go a little bit deeper with you. Um, Maybe you've kind of felt like the odd man out. Maybe at times you felt like you don't really belong. I feel like there's been like one person, kind of by your side throughout all of this that does get you. It's so good to have that person, right? Like that one ride or die that they really get it. They understand. I feel like you got somebody like that in your life. For some of you that have been through a recovery process, that's your sponsor. You got a real kick-ass sponsor. They really know how to hold it down for you. And, it started out as just, that kind of support to help you in your recovery. And it's really become this like real deep, solid friendship. It's a real beautiful thing. I feel like a little emotional when I'm saying that. So I think there's like even something really emotional you've gone through in this connection. I feel like there's something really emotional you've gone through in this connection over the past year in particular. I think you've dropped into some really deep places with this person. I think there's something really special that came out of that time that you shared with each other, moving through these experiences. I feel like it was mutually supportive. I feel it wasn't just about, your sponsor supporting you. I think that they got a lot of growth out of it too. That's what I'm kind of picking up here. That's somebody's story, it's coming in for somebody. 19 on the clock, right? So something's got to come to an end. There's something that you're closing cycle on. I think it's something that caused a lot of pain. I think you saw bottom. I think it was like as bad as it's gonna get, and you're on the upswing now. All right. So there's something coming towards you, some kind of news. It's an affirmative. It's a green light. It's like, yes, you got what you need to go forward now. Build it. Make that vision a reality. Bring it in. It's time to start laying down the bricks, so you can really, you know, form your new way forward. Open up that road. It's time to head on down it and have a brand new experience with a brand new cycle. And I think you are going to find your sense of community, and you're also going to find your place in the spotlight. There's big success for you on the horizon, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, and more of the sweet taste in life. I think you've had enough bitterness to last you for a while, and this is like the universe kind of saying, okay, now it's time to like let the sun shine in. And I really feel like that is applying on a very practical level. Maybe you've kind of had things a little sort of dark in your home or where you're at right now. The weather has been kind of dark and gloomy, and maybe that's been affecting your mood a little bit. So I encourage you, just as much as you can, let some natural light flood into your home. Get outside, get into the open air, um, just take some steps to kind of get back out into the flow of life again. If you do get a chance to catch some rays, maybe just spend some time just drinking in the sun, letting it warm you, and just focus on that as sort of um, the visualization of the energy you're aligning with now, that solar energy. Solar energy is a masculine energy, it's very much about taking action and actually doing the work, moving beyond just the mere vision, but having the ambition to see it through because it matters, it brings something worthy, but beyond that, it also lights you up, right? It's kind of like fuel for your fire. It's something that you want to do, right? You want to do this thing. There's a certain joy, there's a certain enthusiasm that comes with it. So I'm really excited to see what you're going to get cooking there, Gemini, right? It looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and just start in with your read for you, 21:48 on the clock. And we're just going to see what's coming in. We're just free flowing with this. We're not doing any layout or anything like that. We're just going to see what the cards have to say. Okay, so I'll give us a few more shuffles. What's coming in for the Gemini collective? Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, or loaded third house. I almost said thirst house. Okay. Are you thirsty? Are you needing to drink a little bit more water? Has your hydration been a little low? Are you thirsty? Are you thirsty for someone's attention? Are you feeling a little shut out? Maybe somebody hasn't been talking to you. Maybe somebody kind of made you feel like you got left out in the cold. Maybe you felt a little bit like an outsider. Are you thirsty for a little recognition, a little attention, a little affection, maybe? I don't think you're going to be thirsty much longer, okay? It looks like there's so much good coming in for you. I meant to say third house, though. Oh, okay, what's coming in, Gemini collective, with this Venus-Jupiter conjunction? How is the love and beauty going to expand in your life? What's the good stuff coming in? How's Big Daddy Jupiter going to sweeten the pot? Let's just see. Yeah, I think you're really worried still with this Nine of Swords. It's really hard to shake off. You might be dealing with a little holdover anxiety. Yeah, I think you feel like, I really think there's sort of this feeling you have with the Page of Swords right behind this. Like, there's a part of you that feels like you always have to be on guard for, like, all right, what's going to come at me next? You might almost be dealing with a little bit of a kind of like echo effect of the experiences that you went through. I think you went through some pretty harsh stuff. I do feel like I'm really getting, especially like the past year has been really rough, really rough. A lot went down the past year. I know this is true because there's an Ace of Swords right here following this up. This is always truth, okay? I think that you're worried, about what might come at you next. You might also feel like there's somebody kind of like keeping an eye on your situation. Maybe you're keeping an eye on the situation too. I mean, this is your energy. It is Page of Swords. It's also air sign collective. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, all right? You might have some concern about maybe a truth that might come out, a truth that might be expressed. This is something that you sort of have your hackles up around. It might be causing you some anxiety. It might be causing you some sleepless nights. You might also find that you're having some stuff worked out in your dream state as well. Maybe you've had some nightmares. I think it's related to stress, you know? I feel like it's an echo effect. I feel like you're so used to having something coming at you that it's almost like that's just become the frequency you're emitting, and you really want to shift that. Okay, you want to shift that, because if you stay in that space, then um, you can kind of draw experiences towards you that will give you the opportunity to sort of like interact with that kind of energy and process that kind of energy. And that's not saying that anything that you went through in the past, that's your fault by any means. It's just helping you understand that if you are constantly readying yourself for trouble or for somebody to come at you, or you feel like people are working against you, or there's something you need to like ready yourself for because you're having trust issues. That's what I really feel. And I feel like maybe you're worried about like some kind of gossip, or some kind of truth that might come out, something that might be communicated. Page of Swords for me is a big online card, social media card. So maybe you have some concern about some stuff going on social media. Maybe you're keeping your eye on somebody. Maybe you're trying to decipher something that's gone down on social media that's had you confused or had you in an anxiety state. And so you're kind of just trying to like suss out some information. That's a possibility too. Okay. This could also be somebody keeping their eye on you as well. All right. Either way, I feel like you have some kind of anxiety, some kind of worry around this. I think there is a need for communication. And I feel that it's the truth that needs to come out. I feel like you feel like there's some kind of truth that's been omitted. There's some piece of the puzzle you don't have, and you really want those gaps to be filled. So you're not inventing scenarios in your head. That's what I kind of get. Like if you have these missing pieces of information, rather than just kind of settling into that space and being like, okay, I don't have the whole picture, so I don't know. And why does it have to be something horrible? Maybe it's not as bad as it seems. Maybe it's not as cataclysmic as it seems. Um, Oh, maybe people are going through their own stuff. I just got that. And maybe that's why people have been distant, or maybe that's why you felt like on the outside. Maybe others are going through their own situations in their own lives. Not everybody processes what they're dealing with in the same way. Some people need space, some people need distance, some people need to put down boundaries. Okay. And that's just what's required. So this is kind of one of those things of like needing to flip the script, where it's not like just waiting for something to come at you, because that can automatically put you in a defensive kind of posturing, or looking into things from an angle of thinking that it's, being slanted from that perspective, like, oh, well, this person, has it out for me, or whatever. So that's automatically going to skew the kind of interaction you have with this individual. It doesn't really invite an opportunity for there to be any kind of solutions. We see there's a lot of worry here and a lot of anxiety around this, and a need to sort of like feel like you're on top of something, almost so you don't have any surprises come your way. But what I see here is you don't really need to worry about this, okay? Because you've got some real positive energy coming in here. Look for this to build over the next 2 months, but you're certainly going to see it start to come in now. Where things have felt really stagnant and held up, and this could be around a situation that might have like some kind of legal ramifications. Maybe you've been waiting to get some kind of news about something moving forward, with some kind of case, or with some kind of settlement, or some kind of, business deal finally coming through, or maybe some kind of money that you were really needing, um, that's been causing you a lot of worry, because with this being held up, it's kind of held you back from moving forward, right? You don't need to worry about that, all right? The stagnancy is on its way out. You're entering a new cycle. This is positive flow of energy, things getting moving. The next 2 months are going to be full of a lot of forward momentum, all right? The next 2 months are going to involve a lot of travel. I also feel like love is going to get, cooking. We got the arrows of love going on. And if things have been a little stale, in the bedroom, I think they're going to spice up. I see you feeling randy, And you might even go on like some little love jaunts, some getaways with the object of your affection, and just really enjoy that, just connecting with each other, having some fun. I also feel like where communication has been blocked, it's going to get moving. There's going to be a back and forth dialogue. Maybe there is some truth that's going to be aired out, between somebody that maybe you've had a falling out with. Maybe you all have been at odds with each other for a bit. Maybe you've been just trying to feel out when the timing was right. I think, the opportunity is going to align. It's just something that is going to come in. I feel like you're going to get approached. I do. I feel like the approach is coming towards you, because the energy I picked up was earth and water very strongly. Okay. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. All right. So I feel like that's not your energy. I feel like that's an outside energy that's approaching you, and there's an invitation to let's talk, and it's about coming from the heart and settling things in a way where it can restore a sense of balance. And I think that will take a lot off your mind. And you don't need to worry about how that will turn out, because we've got judgment here. This is like judgment in your favor. All right. And right behind this, there it is. There's the earth sign energy again. Okay. We have the Page of Pentacles. So this is sort of like, it could even be like it might be a younger person coming towards you. It could be a child, maybe your child, maybe you've had some kind of difficulty with your child. Maybe your child was having some problems in school. I'm picking this up for somebody. Your child was having some real issues with school, and it was causing some problems. At one point, you were wondering if you were going to have to pull your child out of that school and find a new direction to go for them. I think your child needs more stimulation. I don't feel your child it's kind of like they're being labeled as having a learning disability, and they actually don't have a learning disability. It is that they're bored in their current educational environment. And that's why they act out. That's why they act out, because they're bored. They're not mentally stimulated in their environment. That might not be the healthiest way for them to find stimulation, but I feel like in some way the educational program isn't actually best serving them. I feel like this child would do better in like a creative arts educational program. I'm picking like more of a Montessori kind of school environment, something along these lines, where the influence is just a little different than it is in the public school system. So for those of you who are dealing with that, where you've been worried about what's been going on with your child in terms of a school situation, I see it working out. Okay. I see there's going to be a judgment in your favor, something that's going to get ironed out there. I think you're going to be looking at moving your child to a different school, getting them in a different kind of program that it will actually be a lot more beneficial. I think this is a new direction that will give them a lot of growth, and you'll be really happy with it. For others of you, this is like an energy of like an earth sign energy approaching you. And it's just the beginning, it's just the start, but maybe this person has had some time to think about what went down. They have a different perspective of things. Um, and they want to educate you about something. They want to educate you about the truth from their perspective, and just open up a conversation. And it's small. Okay, it's a small opening, but I feel like it's sincere, and there's something that can move forward from this. This also could be in relation to, somebody wanting to start some kind of business enterprise with you, some kind of business project. And it's just a start. I feel like it's just this initial communication, but there's something about this that alleviates a concern, it alleviates a worry, and it gets things moving forward in a really positive way. Okay, let's see what the top of the deck energy is here. Ooh, look at this, Empress energy. All right. Now, this very well could be a Taurus, okay, because the Empress does represent both Taurus and Libra. You might be dealing with a Taurus and a Libra in this situation. This could also be in relation to a baby mama. Okay. It doesn't have to be Taurus or Libra. Empress can also represent a mother. Okay. And we do have that child message that came in here. Yeah. So for those of you Geminis with children, if you're the mama, you're really holding court. I don't think that they're going to be able to give you the runaround at all. You really know how to work. You know how to work the system. That's what I just got. And I think you have a lot of sway too. It has everything to do with the way you hold yourself. You're a wonderful mother. You really are. Whoever's energy I'm tapping into, you are really wonderful mom, man. You're just so nurturing. You nurture your child so much. You see your child's gifts. You nurture their strength. You're such a supportive mother. You're such a good mom. I don't know why I got like so much like emotion coming up in your read, but I'm feeling really emotional with your read. I think this is something that was really hard earned. Maybe it has something to do with you reflecting on your relationship with your own mom. And there's some piece of this that you really carry forward in, raising your own child. Some of you, this could be for some of you, maybe getting word that somebody's pregnant too. Okay. This could be getting word that somebody is pregnant and this is a truth that's coming out. And so this might be something that's causing a little concern. Maybe that's something you're worried about. It is possible. In that case, I'm feeling like it's, you're finding out when they're like, a couple months along. Maybe they had some worry about broaching the topic with you. This is possible. Somebody could be finding out that they're going to be having a baby. For some reason, there's some kind of worry around it, though, right? Some kind of worry around it. Mhm. Some of you may also be dealing with a legal situation that involves a child and involves some kind of like visitation rights or um, child support, something along these lines. It's been causing a lot of stress. You've been very concerned about how this situation will turn out. It's going to turn out in your favor. You got the Judgment and Empress, okay? So don't worry about that. I also feel like for those of you that are really focused on building financial stability for yourselves and you're heading in some kind of very inspired direction with a project or what you're growing right now, I feel like for a lot of you, it is creative with that Empress there. She births all new beginnings. So you're at a time of beginning in your life, and it's really because you've come into this place of balance within yourself. You've been through a lot of pain. Yes, you went through a lot of difficulty, but through that, you've also had a lot of growth, and it's evident, you're also really in a glow up phase too. So again, there's like that health piece. I feel like you're getting exercising, you're getting moving. It's not just like these stuck, stagnant situations where communication has been held up. Moving forward, finally, it's also like it's a whole movement happening in your life. I feel like you're getting back to exercising. I think you may find too that that's going to be one of the best ways that you can deal with any kind of anxiety or insomnia issues you're having is to get your body moving, like get the stress out of your body so it doesn't just like rattle around in your mind and keep you up at night. Okay. It's going to be so good for you. Just get your lymph moving, get your body moving with some good, vigorous exercise. With that Empress energy, I feel like get outdoors, exercise outdoors is so good for you. I see hiking and, being out in nature where you're surrounded by a lot of greenery and just beauty and that feeling very supportive for you just to kind of like blow out the cobwebs, get that heaviness out of your system from any kind of like leftover depression or old energy from the cycle you're emerging out of that's clinging to you because you're heading into a time where you're going to be very abundant. You're going to be very abundant and very successful. I mean, the Empress and the Sun card that already came out, what you're bringing into being right now, it's going to be the making of you. It really will be. You're going to be very happy with the way things turn out. And I think you're in a place where you're feeling more confident. And I see that as you start to focus on your health, I think you're learning something. There might be like some new approach you're taking with your health, and for you, it's brand new. It's something you've never done before, and you're kind of like just learning about this. You're starting to explore this. With that Pentacles energy, I do think you're actually going to put it into action, though. It might be something you're really working on over the next couple months, and you'll really see a big change in your body and your mentality and just how you're feeling emotionally. I think you're really going to have like, I get like big like makeover, shape over vibes, and you're really going to see a big difference, a couple months from now, you're really going to see a big difference. Like right as you're getting ready to head into summer, I think you're going to be feeling really good. I think you're going to be feeling really good. I think other people are going to be telling you you're looking pretty good too. I think you're going to have quite the glow up. Okay. There might even be somebody online that's like, they're kind of taken by you, they might be keeping an eye on you. You might get some messages starting to come in your DMs like, hey, just remember, like, you're an empress, okay? Or you might be approaching an empress, okay? Just, think about how you step to an empress. And for those of you who are receiving somebody, be mindful that they're coming at you correct, okay? This isn't about half stepping, not when you're in that empress energy. Make sure they're coming at you like an emperor, okay? All right, let's see. What else is coming in for the Gemini collective? Looking pretty good. I'm glad you're moving out of a heavy cycle, okay? Some stuff did fall on the ground here, so I feel like some stuff sort of feels like it's out of your hands. Let's see. Look. Oh. Something's face down too. So there's something you're not aware of, you're not looking at. You see, this is like what came in that I was talking about when I was channeling in your opening. There's something that you want to plant with this Knight of Pentacles energy. This is about having a vision. It's wanting a new beginning that is something really tangible. It's not just a dream. It's like, no, I'm living this. I'm seeing it manifest in my reality. It's a part of my life now. And for a lot of you, this has something to do with a certain kind of stability. And I believe it's like financially, materially, you know, you're really wanting to see a new beginning in this regard. And you have some idea, some vision, some business venture that you are initiating at this time. And you're hoping that it will grow. You're going to start working on this and actually laying down the foundation. And what is it that you're not seeing about this? So, well, we got the Chariot in reverse. Okay. So, what this is really telling me is it's like you got this big, Empress energy on the board, and we know it leads to the sun. So, movement for you is a big key to get this moving in your life, because there's this piece that is so essential to be able to affect any kind of change in our life, and that's that we need energy. If we don't have energy, we can't make anything happen, right? You can have the best of intentions, but if you're exhausted and if you're burned out and if you're just feeling like you're having a hard time pulling yourself out of bed in the morning, that can really hold up your manifestations. It can slow your manifestations down. Now, the thing is with this Knight of Pentacles energy, it's a very slow moving energy. And again, it's that earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So I don't know if maybe you've been trying to partner with somebody on a project, on some kind of business venture, something along these lines. Or somebody made an offer to you in this regard, or you made an offer to them, but it just didn't move forward. Like there was no forward motion in this. It's been stuck. Okay. What I'm really getting from this is it's about you need to move out of a place of indecision and you need to just decide to do it for yourself. I feel like it's not needing, this other person to dial this in, but I do feel like there's going to be a forward motion from this person. Maybe this is coming back on the table. Maybe it's like, can we get this thing out of gridlock? Can we get this thing to move forward? I think you need to really consider that with the chariot in reverse, It's something to really consider because when the chariot's in reverse, usually there's like some kind of internal conflict going on in there. Like your will is not totally engaged in this situation. Like, I don't know if I can show up for this, okay? It's sort of this 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of energy. Maybe that's the problem you had with this person in the past. You felt like they had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They weren't really following that commitment through what they said that they were going to bring to the table, right? And so you're like, okay, I'm not going to invest energy in this. So you kind of like pulled your energy out. Um, I can feel that. I can feel that as a strong possibility. But there's this piece I really want you to consider about listening to your intuition and what it's telling you. What is going to be the most fertile direction for you to head in? Where do you think you're going to see the most growth and abundance? And for a lot of you with this Empress energy, this could have to do with, you choosing to go your own way and invest in yourself. Now, for some of you, you may be making, a serious offer to an Empress. All right. Um, those of you who are drawn to feminines, I see that, you might want to be leveling up. Maybe you're noticing that this Empress, which is usually associated with, those ruled by Venus, and we are in a very strong cycle. I mean, we're talking about this Venus Jupiter conjunction, okay? So I think that, this Empress has really leveled up. I think they've been doing a lot of growth. And I think that you have really recognized that maybe this is a situation that you put on pause. Could have been with a Taurus or a Libra. You put it on pause for a while. Things weren't moving forward. Things were stagnating in this connection. I think you've seen this person go through a lot of growth. I think you're starting to realize just, what a gift they are in your life, and how much you do want to invest in this. And there's going to be some serious offer that's being put forward. Or there's somebody who's seen this in you. Okay, feminines, there's somebody who's seen this in you, and they're ready to seriously make an investment. They're ready to commit. They see your worth. They see your value. They see the way you shine, and they're all that in a bag of chips. I really see that. And I think this is going to get things moving because we do have that 8 of Wands energy. So where things were stuck, where things had gone cold, where there wasn't communication, in a connection of the heart, I feel like things are really going to get flowing. And it's because the feminine in this situation really like leveled up. And I feel like the masculine is finally able to like enter into the heart space, finally able to get the emotions flowing. Maybe it was withholding communication. Maybe it was holding communication on the level of really like letting it flow from the heart space. I see that changing. And I see some kind of commitment, real solid offer to like, let's really grow here. Let's continue to move forward. Maybe you weren't going to move forward for a while there. Maybe you were considering bailing out and something shifts in this situation. Okay. Anything else that's coming in for the Gemini collective with this Venus Jupiter conjunction? Anything else coming in for the Gemini collective with this Venus Jupiter conjunction? Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so we have the Fool in reverse and we have the Emperor in reverse. Oh yeah, okay. So like I said, feminines, you empresses out there, you empresses out there, where you've had things kind of go topsy turvy in a connection, and this can be a little cross watcher energy coming in here too. All right, you might have like a Taurus cross watcher, Libra cross watcher. Feminine, for those masculine Geminis receiving this reading, or those of you who are drawn to women, may be having this experience, but somebody here is really realizing that they were far too controlling in the past, that they were far too rigid, that maybe they didn't allow this person to really be fully who they are. Like there's that when the emperor is in reverse, there's like this piece of like sort of thinking that um, you should have more power, more sway, more control in a relationship. It can be a very domineering energy. It can also be a really harsh energy. It can be a hurtful energy. At times, it can be a narcissistic kind of energy. And because of the way it's coming in with the Fool in reverse, I think, this might be what has caused the bone of contention. This is what caused the connection to stall in the past. There wasn't any forward motion because the masculine in this situation was being way too rigid, was trying to control too much, was not understanding, the emotions of the person on the other side of the table from them and what their needs were, what they needed to feel fulfilled. And this is a case where the feminine in this situation just said, okay, I'm just going to fill my own cup. I'm going to take all of that energy that I have been exhausting myself pouring into you, and instead I'm going to pour it into myself. And oh my God, once they did that and you were without it, masculines, you were like, oh my God, I'm such a fool. Why did I do this? Why did I treat this person like this? Um, you feminines out there are having a moment of vindication. This person is recognizing that, you know, they really didn't realize how much you poured into them, how much you have been the one who nurtured the relationship, who kept everything going, man. They didn't realize it until you left them on their own for a while. Yeah, see how it is without my love and care, right? You don't get over the Empress's love and affection being pulled back, being absent too easily. Okay, it causes some self reflection, and so I feel like this person is finally, sort of seeing the light. You know, they recognize that they were foolish. They want to approach you. They want to say they're sorry. For some of you masculines out there, this might be, even through a recovery process, and it can apply to feminines too. I mean, sometimes, a feminine can be an emperor in reverse, but it is wanting to come out the way it is. All right. But you're going to have to flip flop roles as you need to in terms of gender and all that. It gets too complicated and convoluted when I have to go down all those alleyways. You know how this is speaking to you. Okay. This is very much about somebody in this situation recognizing that they really didn't appreciate, didn't value the other person, didn't realize how much they were pouring into the relationship, how much they were giving, how much they were going without until this person pulled their energy away and started pouring into themselves. And this person's wanting to make a course correction. They're wanting to come back. They're wanting to communicate this. They're wanting to communicate that they realized they were a fool. They made a fool out of themselves, that they were too controlling. They want to start again. And they're willing to take it slow. That's what I feel is kind of cool about this. It's like a very slow, let's build this, let's be conscientious, and maybe even focusing more on sort of like taking it to the friendship level first. Let's really solidify strong connection on that level with each other. Let's just really work on our communication first, and maybe going out, spending some time with each other, just one on one, where we can really drop in and connect with each other. And I can pour into you a little bit, we can get this thing going on a reciprocal level. So I feel like it's sort of like a tentative, like, okay, we'll see how this goes. It's still a little bit on pause, but I feel like within a couple of months, there's like really this forward progression, and it's a really, really beautiful thing. All right, let's see. Cut of the deck, we the devil. Okay, and what's on the other side? The devil. Yeah. Okay. So this is a case where there is still going to be a bit of a pause in this situation. And I think a little bit of it is on both sides, because at one point there was some aspect in this connection that felt very binding, you know. The devil a lot can deal with it can deal with situations where there's kind of like an addictive quality in the connection, something that somebody's struggling with. It can be like somebody's struggling with alcohol or some kind of substance abuse, and this is causing a problem, or somebody has a sexual addiction and this is causing a problem. It can also be codependency, you know, and not having enough individuality. It can also be power dynamics are totally off. You know, one person's really controlling, everything has to be their way, it makes the other person feel like they're being held hostage. At some point, the relationship feels like it's almost like a Stockholm syndrome. You know, it's true. Like we can end up in situations like this, right? And so I think there's some guarding around this, and there's still this need to have individuality preserved. Okay, I get that with the devil energy too. The devil is very much about individual empowerment, you know, being in your own power, being in your own energy. So I think that there is receptivity to this. I think it will open, and I think it will start to flow, but it's kind of like, let's take it tentatively. And I think that's wise, because there is the desire to retain some level of autonomy, even within relationship, so it doesn't get to that sticky place again. And I feel like whoever is receiving this invitation, this initiation of this communication, is going to feel like they need to have their boundaries up. It could very well be a Libra, because this is a quintessential Libra card. They could have Libra strongly aspected in their chart. All right. And I'm going to get one overarching theme card for you. It looks like quite a bit going on. Looks good. All right. So let's see. One overarching theme for Gemini collective: Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars. What is coming in for the Gemini collective? I do see it moving forward. You know, I don't see it being completely blocked, because that Eight of Wands came in. I think that the feminine is in a really strong position in this situation. Whoever identifies as the feminine in this relationship is in a very strong position. It's the other energy that was kind of out of balance. The Emperor was out of balance, all right? Emperor needed to do a little, you know, self-correction, okay? So good for you, Empress, for pulling your energy back, you know, and doing what you needed to do to take care of yourself. Yeah. Bottom of the deck, we got the Pig. Like, yeah, this person was selfish. They were too focused on what worked for them. That's kind of like, I'm going to have my cake and eat it too mentality. It works for me. So as long as it works for me, it's all good. You know, no, it doesn't work like that. It has to work for both people. Okay. It's not just about one person having their needs met in a relationship. That's not fair. You know, and I mean, I hate to say that for, you know, the masculines out there, but I mean, it looks like if you're masculine receiving this reading, you've become aware of this. You've seen the light. All right. And look what we got here. We got the broken mirror. Okay. So I'm picking up big Jinx energy with this. All right. I don't know if you've been doing magic. Those of you who maybe have been working with some magic to try to switch up your situation, if you felt like you were having some bad luck, or if you've been kind of like doing workings against other people, maybe doing some kind of blocking energy or something. But remember, with that Nine of Swords, it's like kind of this smoke and mirrors energy. You got to be aware of this, that you might not be seeing situations totally accurately. So you want to be careful of this, because what I'm getting here is this is a little bit of boomerang energy from spell work. It looks like maybe some of your problems are related to what's called a crossed condition. A crossed condition is when you think that people are doing things to you, or you think that maybe somebody cast a spell on you, or you think that the other shoe is going to drop. And because you think that and you believe it so much and you invest it with so much energy, you actually call that very kind of like Jinx energy to yourself, that bad luck energy to yourself, because that's what you're looking for. So that's what you see. You see what I mean? So a really simple thing for you, okay, to clear away this energy and just get yourself back to center with all of that and open up some good luck. Just make a tea with bay leaf, okay? And just use that to pour over your crown in the shower, and